Good evening, Sudha. All the best.
Good evening, Malki teacher. Thank you so much.
Chalo, give your best.
Thank you so much.
Good evening, Sudha.
Good evening, Chedali ma'am.
I was the first to join.
Yeah,
Chalo.
waiting. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, all the teachers.
Evening, Sudha.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Thank you, Rita ma'am. Thank you so much.
Good evening, Rita ma'am, Barnita ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. All the best, Sudha.
Good evening, ma'am. Thank you. Arvind sir, just let me know when to start.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Just wait for because only 34
34
teachers
teachers.
joined till now.
Yes, sir,
Just wait
please.
4 to 5 minutes, ma'am.
Okay, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Now you start because this is already 5:08.
Yeah, it's already
Okay.
5:08. Okay, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay. All the best, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, respected principal, sir, vice principal, sir, and both the coordinator, ma'am, and all my teachers. A very good evening and welcome you all in today's session. I'm very glad that I got this opportunities to present the session in front of you all. I hope I am audible to you all. If
Yes.
yes,
Yes, ma'am.
please.
Yes, yes.
And I'm sharing my screen. I hope is it visible? It's visible to you all.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, sir. So let's start today's session. The topic for today's session is addressing socio-emotional needs of students. Before going to the needs, I would like to explain or to discuss what is social emotional learning. A very famous psychologist named Faith R. California, he said that addressing socio-emotional needs for students, socio-emotional needs for my students has been my biggest challenge. I worry that I am not doing enough for my students. So that's also been challenge for us. Now, social emotional learning is a way which enables the life learning skill, mental skill, and maintains social relationships. It also refers to the acquisition of a wide range of skill and attributes which are considered critical to students' development, with myriad terms used interchangeably to refer to this conceptual space. Now, social emotional learning is more important than academics. According to me, it's more important than academics because there is enough research to show us that if the child is not present, the child does not know or understand himself or herself. If the child is not connected, if the child has got low self esteem, or if the child is not learning, he is not comfortable in the community, the brain anyway will shut. That's the research that Aminiel has a very, I would say, a very one of the top line emotional center where there is research showing it's very clearly that when the child is unhappy, when child is angry, she is not comfortable, the brain just shuts. Either it is in a fight mode or it can be in a flight mode. It means they are not able to cope up with the situation which going around himself. Whatever happens, in any ways, if the child is unhappy, he is not going to learn anything. So social emotional learning basically is a process for learning life skills. It includes how to deal with oneself, others, and relationships, and work in an effective manner. It also helps children to grow into healthy, happy adults with strong relationship, or we can say with the rewarding careers. We all want our future generations to be thoughtful and successful. The teaching students social emotional skill, it can be decision making, it can be collaboration, communication, and confidence, help them succeed in countless everyday scenarios. We can say it is an integral part of education. It is also a human development. It's process through which all young people and adults acquire and apply the knowledge, skills, and attitudes to develop healthy identities. Manage emotions. That is most important part of any child. how to manage emotions. After managing their emotions, they can do well in the academics, and then only they can achieve personal and collective goals. They should feel and show the empathy for others. That's also very important aspects of social emotional learning. He or she should be established and maintain supportive relationships with their peer groups, and he or she should be able to make responsible and caring decisions. These all are the aspects of social emotional learning. Now, it is all about the learning. But what is the need? What do you understand by the social and emotional needs? I would like to ask you, teacher, can you please write in a single word, what is a need? I'm just asking you all, teacher. I request you all, can you please write a word which represents need? No need to write a full sentence, just a need. Very good, sir. Thank you, Marvin, sir. Want. Very good. To understand the child. Thank you, Sujata, ma'am. Ma'am, I want more response. Yes, many of you have responded. I repeat the question. What is a need? Requirement. Thank you, Shreya, ma'am. Necessity. Requirements. Thank you, teacher. Thank you so much for your response. Now, needs means it can be a demand. It is craving for something. Needs can be asking. Thank you, teachers. Thank you, Kamlesh, sir. Encouraging the students. Very good, ma'am. So these needs can be craving for something. It can be asking anything. So a need is a psychological feature that arouse an organisms to action towards a goal and giving a purpose to and directions to the behavior. So every living organisms have these characteristics, isn't it? Every day we have a new wants, new desires to get. So need is a requirement of an individual, no matter the gender, no matter the ages or even the status. All of us have our own needs, and that can be need to have a food, need to have water, right? It can be a need to quench our hunger and thirst. There are needs to have parents, siblings, and friends for getting love, affection, and moral support. So need could be anything that person's desires to have for self satisfaction as well as for comfortable living. It's about the human needs. Now, let's move on to the next slide. This slide is about the basic needs of human. This is a psychologist, Abraham Maslow. It is the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Before starting, I hope all of you are aware of this hierarchy of needs. All the teachers are familiar with this pyramid. Can I have your thumbs up if you are familiar? Let me just know that you can write yes or no in the chat box also, just for me to understand whether you are a familiar or not. Okay, responses are coming in. Thank you, teachers. That's fine. Thank you, teachers. So now I would like to explain this in detail. uh, Abraham Maslow, this is a hierarchy of needs. Now in this there are he has listed 5 levels of needs that people have. Okay, so now if you see the bottom, At the bottom is the physiological needs. Yes, teachers, am I audible?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now you can see the bottom is physiological needs. That includes food, clothes, shelter, air, etc. Now, when these needs are met, he is satisfied with his needs. He can look for another level of needs that includes safety needs. Before going to the social and emotional need, we should understand what are the basic needs of a person. Then we will come to the needs of students, right? So, the next need, when someone achieves the first basic need, that is physiological needs, he automatically shift to next need, that is safety needs, where an individual looks for safe environment. Now what happens, person who doesn't have proper food to eat, he does not look for a place for staying. Means if the first need, that is food, that is need for food, is not fulfilled, he will not go to the next level. You know, the first need is to quench his thirst and hunger, so he looks for food. He goes on begging, and he may sleep in the bus stop, railway station, or somewhere where he gets some place, but he mainly longs for eating food. So when his needs of food and hunger is satisfied, then slowly he will think of having a small shed. Now there he thinks of having safety environment to protect him from, from bad weather or from harm and danger. Now he dreams of having a house that will give him safety, to protect them from animals or from robbers or any bad environment. So when these needs are met, again he looks for another set of needs. What are them? They are love and belongingness. He looks for friends, he looks for companionship, he looks for social gathering. So basically, the students wants this need, the sense of belongingness. At the next level, he will reach to the self-esteem. This is, I'm talking about in general. All the human beings should have these satisfaction, that first I need physiological needs, that roti, kapra or makan. Then second, when he get first physiological needs, he will again reach to the next level, that is safety needs. Then on the belongings and love needs. After that, esteem needs. So self-esteem takes priority. He wants recognition in the society. He desires for prestige. He gets the feelings, and he wants the people to recognize him. And finally, when he reaches the top of the pyramid, he tries to achieve his full potential and self-actualization. Now, person feels fulfillment of one's talent and potentialities. At that level, by this time, he's achieved everything. Every stage is achieved in terms of, you know, uh, his needs. But as human being, what happens? We need more and more and more. We are never satisfied when the needs that are mentioned here in the pyramid, at every level, if they are met, if they are not met, what happens? It creates anxiety, it creates stress, the feeling of inferiority. We start comparing ourselves with the other. Therefore, when a basic needs are not met, it is difficult for us to reach the topmost, that is self actualization, which is at the pinnacle of pyramid. So human needs are insatiable, they are limitless. Our needs are unlimited. We want this and that and the other one also, but we need to have a control over our needs to be contented and happy. Many times what happens, the greed to possess more has led to disaster. Therefore, as a human being, we need to refrain ourselves from becoming over ambitious. It's very, very important to understand our strength and weakness and then plan our desires. It is same happening with the students also want some recognitions. They also want to share their feelings. In this way, sometimes they don't share anything with their teachers. They don't find it easy to share it with their teachers. When they are not able to cope up with the situation, their academics drop down. Let's move on to the next slide. What's at the heart of social emotional learning? Here we will see, when people think of professional teachers, what they think about, that immediately a main focus centers on what is being taught, what the subject matter is it difficult or it's easy. And yet at the heart of transcendent teaching, we must first focus on who is being taught, to whom we are going to teach. Are they able to learn new things today? For this, we need to see the emotional aspects of the students, what they are thinking, what they are going through. So when we are teaching someone, we just transmit knowledge from one person to another without looking into the emotional connection. That we need to take care. This is what social emotional learning accomplishes. It puts the connection to the student before learning itself, so that ultimately the deepest and the most meaningful learning can be flourished. So basically, the social emotional development is just as important for a successful school experience as cognitive development. This development begins before the child ever sets foot in the classroom and continues unabated throughout his entire academic career. After that, we will look why to address students' social and emotional needs. I hope you teachers, I am conveying, I am able to tell you what is actually it is. Uh, just next is why to address students' social and emotional needs. The first one is social relationships and emotional functioning that impacts their performance. When they perform, there will be automatically uh, performance of the school, the reputation of the school, what to say, it it affected the social environment of the school, family, and neighborhood influences students with respect to school performance. So it's a social emotional development which where there is a successful school experience as cognitive development. There are few social skills that are particularly important for a social successful transition to kindergarten. Now, after that, we will look into the different components of social emotional learning. The first, there are 5 points, 5 components of this social emotional learning. We will see one by one of each. So these 5 core competencies are: first one is self awareness, then self management, then social awareness, relationship skills, and the last one is responsible decision making. Uh, we will discuss it one by one. The first one, that is self-awareness. It is having a clear and accurate understanding of ourselves that includes understanding strengths, working through challenges, recognizing emotions, and considering future aspirations. It's basically knowing yourself. Students will be able to know themselves better. It's like knowing into the mirror, looking into the mirror. When we look into the mirror, so students need to look inside themselves to groom themselves. For example, uh, a self-aware student, after completing 10th standard, he or she will know which stream to choose. It depends on his score strengths. Now this will enable him to sail smoothly without any stress. Immediately after then, all the children want to take science or any other subject, whether they are good enough in that subject or not, whether they are good at maths or not, whether they have the attitude or not. So we don't understand that, we don't think about it, because they want to go by what their parents are saying, what the neighbors have taken or other friends have taken. They just wanted to they just wanted to take the same subject what their friends have taken. They are not able to uh, aware of themselves. So in this way, in this situation, we must make the children realize their strength and weakness and make appropriate decisions accordingly. It is self awareness. The next slide that speaks about the self management. Self management means taking responsibility for our own choices to work towards goals. It includes using self control, developing positive study habits, managing emotions, and persevering through challenges. So basically, it's to take control and ownership on your own thoughts and emotions and actions in various situations, as well as working towards goals. Uh, Now, self management requires skills and attitudes that facilitate the ability to regulate one's own emotions and behaviors. This includes the ability to delay gratification or managing stress. To give you one example, like children who contest for position of students council every school, uh, this is what's happening at moment now, who don't win the position for not getting sufficient votes, is that they will get frustrated. It's not important, they are participating, it doesn't mean they will succeed. So it's not to frustrate and behave in a different way. They should have accept their defeat and gel with the groups that take it along. So self management is basically a challenge. It's the ability to regulate emotions and behaviors so that we can achieve the goal. uh, as a social emotional skill, uh, children and young adults begins to understand the importance of self management, especially as it pertains to intrinsic motivation or emotional management, or it can be setting personal goals. Now let's move on to the next slide. That is about the social awareness. Social awareness is it's having an understanding of the social world. That means understanding the social expectation, reading social cues, perspective taking, developing empathy, and celebrating our differences. So basically, it's centering around the golden rule of treating others as you would like to be treated. Social emotional learning encourages social awareness on both an individual level with personal relationships, or on a broader scope with regards to diverse perspective. It's the ability to take perspective of and empathize with other, including those from diverse backgrounds and cultures. The ability to understand social and ethical norms for behavior and to recognize family, school, and community resources and supports. Next competency of SEL, social emotional learning, is relationship skill. What is a relationship skill? It refers to the ability to work well together in team or in a group, handle conflicts well, and generally have positive relationships with others. Modeling these behaviors can be crucial in students gaining mastery over these social skills. These skills refers to the ability to work together. So SEL skills empower students to develop relationships by providing strategies for conflict resolutions and teaching that an awareness of the other person's need is integral to building positive relationship. In this, students will learn to establish and maintain healthy and rewarding relationship with diverse individuals or with the group. There are some students who love to be isolated. They don't want to gel with the group. So now we need to find the students who don't have these competencies. So the ability to communicate clearly, listen well, cooperate with others, resist inappropriate social pressure, whatever it's going on, I can manage, negotiate conflicts, and seek or offer help whenever it is needed. So we can say the relationship skills will work with communication, it will work with social engagement, or with the teamwork. Now let's move on to the, I hope teachers you are understanding and I am able to explain these things. Now let's move on to the next one. This is the last competency of social emotional learning. It speaks about the ability of the students in which they are able to make correct decision. Decision making is basically is using strategies, methods to make positive choices. It includes developing responsibility, problem solving, navigating through peer influences, owning choices, and choosing healthy habits for the future. The decision making itself marked by students effectively. It uses problem solving skill when making positive choices about their personal and social behavior. It is the ability to make constructive choices, and it should be about the personal behavior or it can be social interaction based on ethical standards. The realistic evaluation of consequences of various actions and a consideration of the well being of oneself or it can be others. Here we can give responsibility to the students to make their own decision through which they will be able to learn how to make decision for their future purpose. Now, these five competencies of social emotional learning are very important for the social emotional needs of a students. Now, next we will see the strategies for incorporating these SEL into the classroom. The first one is mindfulness. Through the mindfulness, it means it is paying attention. Basically, mindfulness means paying attention. in a particular way on purpose in the present moment. It should be non-judgmental. We are hearing more and more about the benefits of mindfulness for children. Increased attention leads to better performance. That performance should be academically. Increased emotional and social intelligence. Children are better able to learn, to nurture themselves, and to be aware of their own emotional needs. This mindfulness practices help students pay attention to their breathe body, to their breathe, towards their body, towards their thought, feelings, and the world around them. When they can observe their thoughts and feelings, they have the freedom to choose how they will speak and how to act, which can lead to a happier and more harmonious classroom. Second one is clarifying that thoughts leading to feelings. Now, research shows that these students who are more resilient are more academically successful. We can say that the students who are more silent, they sometimes they do academically very good. These resilient students bounce back quicker, that mindful of their thinking, understanding their beliefs, and importantly are able to challenge their beliefs and the thoughts to create more positive outcomes. So it's very important to clarify the thoughts of the students. These students will now I am in mid of my presentation. Arvind sir, it's showing that this meeting will be over within 5 minutes.
Why this, ma'am? This is the 1 hour meeting, no?
Yes sir, I have created for 1 hour, but just pop-up has shown that the meeting will be over within 5 minutes. So do I create a new link?
Yes, if in that type of situation you have to create new link, ma'am.
Okay, sir. So just let's continue with the with the flow, or right now I will just log out and send a new link.
Uh, you send another link because you have to complete your session.
So just give a minute. Let's see. अगर ये disconnect हो गया, then I will automatically create it and send in the group, KHS group.
Okay, okay,
Okay,
ma'am.
sir. So next is the model persistence and determination. Uh, Listen with empathy. We should listen the students with the empathy. We should show the gratitude towards them. Let's proceed. The next is most important social skills for kindergarten students, kindergarten children. So it consists understanding the difference between right and wrong. The small childs, they don't know what's wrong and what is the right. So we teachers will explain them by the activity. The students can understand their own needs using the words to express their needs and feelings. Sharing, taking turns, and using nice words when playing with other children. Playing alone or with other children without needing constant supervision. Making decisions independently and taking risks while remaining safe. So, understanding the difference between right and wrong. So, school can come as quite a shock to some children, the very small kids, when they enter into the school. It's very shock. Someone is happy to join the school. They cry when they join the school. So they are placed in an environment where the teams of strange adults can inflict consequences. That consequences on them for breaking any one of the long list of rules. This can be especially difficult transition if the child has never needed to recognize any authority other than their parents. So this transition can go very smoothly. On the other hand, provided that the children understand the difference between right and wrong. Now, when teachers react, the students respond. So the reaction of the teacher should be positive, so that the students or the children will be positive throughout the day. You can see, uh, when teachers are positive, the students reactions will also be automatically become positive, and the classrooms become a healthy environment to learn. When the teachers emotionally they are attentive, but all the time they are not positive, but then also teachers attentions make the students positive. So now teachers who focuses on and validate children's emotions have children react more positively. In the third situation, teachers' dismissive reactions make the students' negative thoughts, their reactions will be negative. And as a result, teachers who minimize, who ignore, punish emotional expression have children who react less positively to the emotions. Next, we will see. Now, I have already mentioned a lot of things about the social emotional learning. Now, how we can inculcate, how we can implement these things into a classroom. So we can do some activities for kids. That first activity is team Pictionary. What is this team Pictionary? First, I will tell you why it is important. So this team Pictionary, as it named itself, it means it can be done in a teamwork. So teamwork is a critical skill for all ages. This is a skill kids and young adults use throughout the school day. So what we do in this activity, we just split up the class into two teams, and each team pick an artist who can draw very well. So they will draw for their team. There will be some cards in which there will be